crappening. Yeah, this is pretty crazy right here. This is the biblical symbolism of the circle. It says in Ezra what the meaning of the circle is, and as according, well, at least in that book, this is one meaning of it. According to God, it means judgment. Circle it, and look at CERN, Shiva. It's in a big ass fucking circle. You know what I'm saying? So the circle, just like the rainbow is a sign, the dove is a sign with the little olive branch in it, the olive tree and the vine and the branch and the fig tree, and the fig tree, when it is ripe, then his judgment comes. You know what I'm saying? Just like all this stuff, the circle is another sign of judgment, and it means that judgment, basically, for those in the beginning, is somehow it's like just as swift, though it took long to hit everyone, as it is. Somehow it's like they're suspended animation in time, how we're all judged at the same time, though people are already gone or in stasis, whatever, in the chambers in the earth, and they're waiting, and somehow it comes together. So this circle is like we all hit it at the same exact time. And Ezra's really deep. It's all about the Armageddon. It's all about what life means, the meaning, and all, and why. This is going down. It's crazy. It was kind of and there's a bunch of different angels that come and talk to him and tell him certain things. Like, he's allowed to answer. Listen, he's allowed to ask questions, and they give these weird parabole back statements. So it's like they reveal it, but yet, if you can't get it, and then they kind of speak in such a way where they expect you to be able to bend your mind a little bit to either grasp it, or they confound you with simple things. They be like, all right, go paint a picture of someone's voice. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays we could do that with technology. You could show the waves with machinery, so you could almost get the picture of someone's voice. But in those times, that was very an out there thing, which couldn't be done. It could, I guess you could say, there's ways you could paint a symbol that would mean someone's voice, but really it wouldn't. It's a question that was, it was like you really couldn't answer. So it's laid out in there, but so the circle, that's a sign for judgment. And it's also almost kind of, I don't know, man. You see the circle around in people's they worship this circle. They might not realize even what it means. It stands for God's judgment. A lot of time the circle is revered like the circle, the disc of the Babylonians, and the disc in the crescent of the more Babylonian. The sun symbol with the fucking thorns coming out of it, like the Jesuits and the Catholics. The halos, all this stuff is in Ezra. It's a sign of judgment, just like the bow was a sign of the covenant, the rainbow, but the circle is a sign of judgment. And it's it's like, it explains too how us in the end, how we really are, kind of like in the word. I hate to use this terminology, but it's like the world, everything spiritually and physically is degenerating, and because it's part of the prophecy, like, because it's like the greater part of humanity and the way things have been has already passed. We are at the very end of the whole time schematic. You know what I'm saying? Basically, according to Ezra, he was in the very last moments. There's a couple drops left out of the bucket, and we are on the final drops of the bucket. Like, it's like, but all these drops have fell into the cup of iniquity, basically. And it's like, people need to come to terms with that and realize. So you're not gonna, there's been all these warnings all along, but it's so crazy that you don't want to believe it. So then that's how cognitive dissonance kicks in. And I mean, I have my moments where I just don't want to believe it, so I think about something else. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I guess it's trauma. When people, when they look at trauma, it's so bad to look at that it's a mind trick where you try to make it go away, but it don't go away. It's a bad trick. You know what I'm saying? It leads to problems where, you know what I'm saying? You'll have things inside, just you won't have them resolved, dude. You know, just it'll all hit you at once later. You know, when you're standing in line to get kicked into the furnaces to be vaporized for your thought crimes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, that's another thing in Ezra. Ezra like basically says that, and look, when judgment comes, it'll be just like the days of Noah. In the days of Noah, the sons of the angels, and like all of a sudden they all went mad, insane, and all started slaying one another. And it basically says that's what's going to happen in the end. It's like basically purge, anarchy. There's a lot of movies where they broadcast how when pandemonium hits, everyone's going to be slaying people. There'll be rape gangs. There'll be thuggery. There'll be just straight up chaos, pandemonium, blood will run forth and touch blood, basically. And it lines up with this whole CERN, how it mimics in HARP, they can mimic the fucking brain frequencies, and they basically can control, if they just broadcast a signal, everyone's going to pick up the signal, and they can ramp it to this point where it makes everyone kind of like super paranoid and zombie-like. So your 28 days later scenario, but maybe it's not a virus. It's just they hit the switch and the signal, like the Russian woodpecker signal. You can look into that. And like I said, when I played it before, my dog started barking at the TV when the woodpecker signal went off. So I mean, this is behavior modification shit. They have they got the patents. They got the patents on record. I mean, I'm not aware. I don't need to know exactly what the patents are. I just know they exist. So they got this technology. They got applications where they can do it. So, and that's in Ezra, where it talks about just everyone. It says friends will kill their friends. Just everyone's just going to turn on each other. It'll be totally a bloodthirsty, cutthroat, eugenics, Nazi to the 10th power, death cult, worldwide death cult. Yeah, it's like a moment of death where I guess all these people are given authority to just go ahead and do the things that they want to do, but that's why the judgment is there. Remember the circle. So if you go out and it's innocent, well, that circle, God's got that circle. It's just already stated that it's coming back on the people who do the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't get swept up into this wave of destruction that's coming. And I mean, everyone's got a million reasons, you know, that they rationalize why they should, you know what I'm saying? What is it? Dog eat dog. That's a lot of people have that mentality already. It's been seeded to them, and we're constantly bombarded with imagery of humans acting like pieces of shit to the point where we start to hate each other and hate ourselves. We hate humanity, and it's constant. You don't realize you've been henpecked and peer pressured and bullied and brainwashed and propagandized and indoctrinated into this. When I'm very much what I'm saying, a lot of people don't realize that you're exhibiting symptoms of trauma base, that you're indoctrinated into it's kind of neoconservative nationalism, eugenics. It's just modified. And it's not meant to totally overtake you in some cases. It's just meant to steer you a certain way under certain circumstances. That's all they need to do is get you with that and that programming, brainwashing. Overall, you'll eventually end up in a Klan meeting with a rope and a mask on. I mean, basically, that's where this leads to at some point. I mean, whether it's a black robe, a white robe, a bunch of weird purge masks, it's the same. A bunch of purgers is the same thing as what the Klan did to terrorize runaway slaves in the South. You know, and they've done this in medieval Europe too. That's what all Halloween's based off, is a bunch of purgists messing with people. And Manson, man, Charles Manson, he also was into that helter skelter, and he was into creepy crawling, where they would break into people's houses and switch around all their furniture. And this is like sneaking peeks and gang stalkers and all that. They do this stuff. They get off on this stuff. So it's the same thing. And it's in Ezra. It's that circle. It's like these people You know, it's the Bible talks about those that run swiftly to shed innocent blood, and these are them. They're getting ready to unleash these people. You can see Hitler Youth, the youth brigades. Man, look into that. How how quickly under your nose your children can be turned into a deadly weapon against you. That's also, I think, that's in Blood Diamond where it shows the kid soldiers. You know what I'm saying, with the AKs. So watch out. They could do this to your own kids, where they just got a microchip in their wrist that's got a microphone in it. Look, here they come. They're coming down the street right now, and look, your kid is talking into its microchip and snitching on you to Big Brother. And basically, you pull up at a stoplight. You're like, then a black van comes up, black bags. It takes you off. Never see you again. Black bag, vaporization chamber. So I mean. Brave New 1984, and War of the Worlds, kind of all, and the Albert Pike WW3. You kind of, if you look at all these things, you can see where it's headed, where we're going. It's looking like vaporization chamber, unless they go Zero Dark 30 and hit the EMP situation, where they go Renaissance Festival, which means no power, electricity, like fighting like knights with. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of a situation where it goes batshit crazy. And Batman, they use Batman a lot, and I think Batman means projector beams in the sky. That's code word for they're gonna beam something in the sky, like, and that's gonna be their signal for the Purges. The Purges are gonna see that. That's Operation Batman. Oh shit. Here's the alien false flag. While everyone's busy looking at the alien false flag, let's do Night of the Long Knives. And that's when the Germans they did a Montana blood in, blood out situation, which was a false flag to consolidate and centralize. And we're going to have an event such as that soon. You know what I'm saying? They're going to solidify the power of the regime, whatever they want. Something's going to go down, and it's going to be a false flag. It's going to be fake. But people are so indoctrinated and brainwashed, and they want this enemy now. They want this crusade against brother, neighbor against neighbor, snitcherooski, CIA